Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is John from Shanghai. A couple of weeks ago, I was about to start a podcast here in Shanghai called Shanghai Minds, in which I invited people from all walks of life to come and contribute about interesting topics from all around the world. Unfortunately, if you've been following a little bit the media or the social media of a lot of people like myself that live in Shanghai, a lot of things have happened in the city in recent times. And of course, you see a lot of content, a lot of images, videos, and we get a lot of questions about what the situation is like in Shanghai at the moment. So I wanted to take a couple of minutes today to share what the situation is like and what exactly is happening. I think we all remember the infamous start to 2020, when in February the COVID pandemic started in Wuhan, started spreading across China, and then eventually started spreading across the world. However, aside from a pretty terrifying month of February, which I didn't personally witness myself in China because I was out of the country at the time, China and the city of Shanghai in particular saw very quick recovery. In the months of March, April, May, and leading into the summer, we were back to a sort of normality that we've been accustomed to in Shanghai for the past 2 years. This, I would say, was a direct result of the zero COVID policy that China started following from the get-go, which had, of course, very strong and positive results in the short and mid-term. But at the same time, we had a high price to pay as well. In particular, international travel has been pretty much closed off for the last 2 years. That made it very, very hard for people like myself to visit our families and friends back in Europe or elsewhere in the world. So after 2 years of relative stability in the city of Shanghai and across China, everything has changed dramatically in the last couple of weeks. Of course, in the last year and a half, the virus has mutated in a number of times. In its latest variation, the Omicron, it is widely known that it's a lot less lethal, but a lot more contagious. So, of course, numbers have surged in Shanghai and many other cities in China, and this is something that clashes completely with the zero COVID policy. And as a result, we are now in a city-wide lockdown. Everyone in the city, 24 million people, everyone is locked down. We cannot leave our apartments. We need to test every day. We get free vegetables and free food every couple of days, especially for people that didn't have the chance to stock up enough prior to the lockdown. If we test negative, we continue living our lives locked down in our apartment. If we test positive, unfortunately, we end up in one of these either quarantine hospitals or these new bizarre structures and venues that they've set up for positive people. So at this point, there is nothing we can do aside from listen to what the authorities tell us, monitor the situation, test when we have to test, and hopefully we'll get out of this very soon. I think at the moment, if you look across the population, there are two key segments. One segment of people that are probably not even vaccinated, simply because in the last 2 years they've never felt the need to get vaccinated. They really believed and still believe in the zero COVID policy. However, now that cases have surged, they're afraid of getting the virus, they're afraid of the consequences of it, so they're very wary. On the other side, there's another segment of people, including myself. We are vaccinated. We do understand that the Omicron is very contagious, but a lot less lethal. So we are not necessarily afraid of the virus, but we are afraid of the consequences that come by testing positive. In particular, ending up in these facilities rather than just serving our sentence here at home. So yes, this, guys, is the situation in Shanghai. Hopefully we're going to be out of it soon. And I hope to see all of our friends and family across the world soon as well, maybe this summer.